fire-roasted aromatics, spices toasted over a warm cast-iron pan, served with delicate rice noodles, and slices of gorgeous Japanese Wagyu beef. This is our version of pho. Not a drop of chunky beef broth in sight. Look at all of these fresh ingredients we're going to use to make our pho today. First, we're going to make our soup base by washing our bones. These are beef bones which have been cut up by the butcher. Cover the bones with fresh water, add a splash of vinegar, and some sea salt to draw out the blood and impurities. Next, we're going to do the same with our beef ribs as well as our beef brisket. We'll give it a rinse, add some vinegar, and some sea salt. Let the bones and meat sit for 3 to 4 hours before adding everything to a big pot. Next, cover with water and we're going to move to our stove. Let's bring this to a boil and you're going to see a lot of scum and debris float up to the top. We're going to get rid of this. So back to the sink, we're going to pour everything out and give it a good rinse with fresh water. Repeat this step a few times until the water starts to look much clearer. Now we're going to fill up our pot again and bring this to a light simmer. Be sure to skim off any scum you see that rises to the top. Next, let's prepare our aromatics. We're going to cut some ginger in half, as well as a couple onions. And now let's add it to our grill plate. In Japan, we have a fish grill, and we're going to use this to toast our aromatics today. And you want them really blackened, so we're looking for something like this. Scrape off all of the burnt bits. After we've done that, let's add our aromatics to the stock pot. After a few hours of boiling, the brisket should be really tender, so let's remove it and add it to some cold water. Let's set this aside to cool while we continue cooking our stock. We'll remove the onions after a few more hours so they don't break down in our broth. Before making our seasoning packet with dried scallops, cloves, star anise, cinnamon bark, and a handful of coriander seeds. We're going to toast these and put them in a tea bag. That tea bag goes into our simmering stock, and we're going to continue cooking for a couple hours. We're going to season this with salt, chicken bouillon, and sort of give it a taste as you go. For our condiments, we're going to slice up some chilies, and of course the scallions, which are essential for this dish. Let's cut out the whites and chop up the greens. Next, we're going to chop up some coriander. We can use sawtooth herb, but we couldn't find any, so coriander will do. Slice up some lime. And thinly slice our beef brisket, which is cooled and easier to slice by hand. Next, we're going to blanch our bean sprouts. Just a few seconds will do. Next, let's add our rice noodles. We're going to boil this for about 2 minutes. They get tender really quickly, so no need to boil for too long. Oh, give me some of that pho. To plate, let's add a layer of bean sprouts to the bottom of our bowl before adding our rice noodles. Next, we're going to layer that juicy, fragrant beef brisket on top. Next, let's add some raw Wagyu shabu shabu beef. Ladle that hot broth over to cook it to a medium rare. Next, let's garnish with scallions, our chilies, and a sprinkling of Thai basil. Our condiments are hoisin sauce and chili sauce. And that's our pho from scratch. Now, let's dig in while it's still hot.